We have not had a spotlight in a while on the Tech
Nice.
John. It's been several weeks, but we got a good one for you this week. So this week we are shining a spotlight on Dr. Mae Carol Jemison. This week's spotlight shines on Dr. Mae Carol Jemison, the first black woman to travel into space. Born in Alabama in 1956, but raised on the south side of Chicago, Mae wanted to become a scientist ever since she was a kid. After graduating from high school at 16, Mae attended Stanford University, earning degrees in chemical engineering and African American studies. Then after Stanford, went on to earn a medical degree from Cornell University and served as a general practitioner in the Peace Corps from 83 until 85. From the time that Mae first saw Star Trek, she was a big Trekkie and a fan of Uhuru, Nichelle Nichols. When she was a child, she knew that she wanted to go into space. While still serving at the Peace Corps, she submitted her application to NASA and was notified that she was invited to interview in 1986 before entering the program in 1987. After nearly 6 hard years of training and preparation, Dr. Jemison became the first black woman to travel to space as a mission specialist on the Space Shuttle Endeavour on September 12, 1992. After leaving NASA in 93, Dr. Jemison founded the Jemison Group Incorporated, a consulting firm which considers the socio-cultural impact of technological advancements and design on people. Dr. Jemison also founded the Dorothy Jemison Foundation for Excellence and named the foundation in honor of her mother. Over the years, Jemison has received numerous awards and institutions, including the National Women's Hall of Fame, the International Space Hall of Fame. She had 5 public schools named after her, and she has nearly a dozen honorary doctorate degrees. So when I say that the list is long, there literally is there are several dozen things. The cool ones were she got 5 schools, I think it's 3 high schools,
That's
a
great.
couple of middle schools, or no, 2 high schools, a couple of middle schools, and an elementary school that are named after her. So this young lady, like I said, she's just, I believe, 65, 66 years old. So she's still doing her thing. But right after she came back from space, she's just a huge Trekkie. Was it LeVar Burton? Found out how big of a Star Trek fan she was. So she actually was in an episode of Star Trek TNG
I
way
think I
back in
saw
the day.
that. I think I saw that
Yeah.
episode.
And I've definitely seen it because I've seen them all. But I remember the episode because I'm kind of I'm a Trekkie light. But also she actually became very, very good friends, with Nichelle Nichols. And they're still friends to this day, even though, she is, going through some, struggles, dimensions and stuff like that, she still checks in on her and sees her and all that kind of stuff. So it just shows you the power of that show. When you see people in space that look like you may say, you know what, I'm going to space. I mean, really, that is her story. She saw a black woman in space. Ooh, I want to do that. It's now possible. And then she became the first black woman actually in space.
Well,
How
and
cool is
she
that?
was my Nichelle Nichols, because when she went into space, I was working at a NASA facility, and I was just like, "Ooh, we got a black woman in space." I'm like, I'm gonna be an astronaut. Like I was determined at the time. It kind of faded pretty quickly when I realized everything you had to do and go through and everything like that. I was like, maybe not. But yeah, it was a huge deal to be, at a site and watching her, make that history and stuff like that. I mean, I was just like, oh man, black, it was just unheard of, and it was such a point of pride, and I was just happy to be there and be in that moment.
Yeah, I know that.
Representation matters.
It
Yeah,
does.
today in 2022, just over 600 people have been to space. This was 30 years ago.
Right.
So who knows what the number was then. But if you just really think about it, she even tells you what the episode was. It was the episode, I can't think of the name of the episode of the original series, but it was when there was something that affected all the men on the ship. So Huru basically had to take over with all the women on the ship and take over and solve and fix the problem. So it was straight up, girl power on
Yeah.
that particular episode. And she said, I'm going to do that. I'm going to go to space. So it just, like I said, the reason I'm harping on this is that positive images, when you actually can see somebody do something that I can, if she's doing it, I can do it. Now, there was no women in space at that time when she saw that, let alone black women. But the fact that, Star Trek was so far advanced and it actually had a black woman who was a major character, and, literally she did her thing on that ship. She was an officer. The fact that a young lady could actually see that and say that's what I want to do, and then actually make that happen 25 years later is just crazy to me.
Like
So
Terrance
that
said,
is our
that
spotlight
person
this week, Dr. Mae Carol Jemison.
Dr. Jemison, yay.